The practice begins today in a comfortable seated pose on our mat. Legs crossed in front of us, right leg over left. Bring your hands now to the sides of your body, the sides of your rib cage. Notice the rise and fall of your rib cage, the rise and fall of your breath. Maybe rest your hands on your center, one hand on your belly, one hand on the space around your heart. Syncing your mind with each breath. Be here now. Yoga is a conversation with ourselves to bring us into the present moment, allowing us to make more informed choices, to create balance and harmony in our lives. For this practice, keep your eyes open, your eyes on one fixed spot. Let your gaze soften, but keep coming back to the sharp focus of your breath. We'll take our hands again once more to the sides of our body, the space between the hips and the shoulders. See if you can find the length there as you take your inhale now and reach the arms along the ears, reach the arms overhead. As you exhale, a gentle twist to the right. Bring the hands down. And then take your next inhale, puff up the chest, the space around the heart and the front of the body. Exhale and gently look back towards your right shoulder. Do that a couple breaths here. Every time you inhale, press down but rise up through heart space. Every time you exhale, pull the belly in toward the spine. Maybe stay here for one more breath, but look towards the opposite left shoulder. And then bring your left elbow and forearm down onto the top of the legs. Reach up through the right arm. Inhale, pull, and exhale, maybe reach further top arm over the top of the head. Just finding the reach through the sides of the body as you breathe. One more breath here, and then we'll switch sides. Take your right arm up and over now. Lower it. Inhale, take the left arm up along the left ear. Reach. Exhale, pull top arm over the top of the head. Rooting through sitting bones, whatever is touching the earth, but rising with the breath, making more space. All right, come out of that. Reach the arms, both arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale, it's a gentle forward fold. Take the arms out in front of you, maybe on your fingertips. Again, puff up the chest, the space around the heart. Inhale. Exhale, pull belly in and reach into your lower back, the base of the spine. You can walk the hands further forward to find more reach as you breathe. If it feels useful, bring your elbows down and rest your chin in your hands. Maybe as we stay here a little longer, we've created a little bit more space. You can take your palms to reach further forward. Forehead comes down a little closer to the mat. Again, this is a conversation with ourselves. Just check in. Notice how you're feeling today. One more beautiful breath like that here. Come out of that slowly, slide the hands in closer to you and lift your torso. We'll bring the hands back behind us and we'll switch the legs, this time left over right. Hands to the sides of the waist, from hips to shoulders. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, we'll twist, this time to the left. Press down, but rise up. Puff up the sternum, the breastbone area. Exhale, look back. Chin toward left shoulder. A couple breaths here. Maybe stay here. Maybe this time, last breath, you're looking over the opposite right shoulder. Right elbow and forearm lower to the top of the legs. Inhale this time, left arm, reach it up and pull. Maybe there's a rhythmic flow of the breath as you rise and fall. We're going to switch sides. Take one last breath here. Left arm slowly travels back down. Inhale, right arm. Exhale, reach. Weaving with each breath, rise and fall. All right, both arms reach. Take them forward onto the mat. You absolutely can stay here. Maybe the elbows bend as you fold into that. Walk the hands further if you'd like. Just an exploration. Look for the spaces that need your attention today. Create structure and support if you need to. Keep the spine long. Breathing into new spaces you're discovering. Look for sensations. Send the breath to where you need it today. All right, we'll take the hands in closer to come back upright. Maybe again bring the hands to your center. Pause here. Keep coming back to that sharp focus of your breath. We're going to bring our hands again in front of us and come into hands and knees now on our mat, what we call tabletop position. Just stack your hips over your knees, your toes, your heels in line with your knees. Reach actively into your entire span of your hands. Splay out wide through the hands, the fingers, root into your finger pads, knuckle bones, shoulders right above the wrist. Inhale, drop the belly and look forward. Exhale, look back, pull the belly in and round the spine. A couple times like that. Inhale, elbows bend and hug in, look forward. Exhale, look back and really feel the rounding of the spine like a Halloween scaredy cat. We're lubricating the hips, the shoulders, the spine. All right, we can shift our seat back toward our heels and come into child's pose. Maybe the knees want to come out wider and the big toes together to touch in child's pose. Arms can reach further forward. You can keep your seat a little higher in the air here. Maybe as you bring your forehead a little closer to the mat, you're folding the arms and resting your forehead on your forearm. You're feeling a reach through the lower back. Tailbone can even reach further. Maybe you're bringing your seat a little closer to your heels. Lengthen the breath along the spine. Remember, this is your resting pose. You can always come back to child's pose at any time throughout your practice, returning to the power of your breath each time. If you'd like to take the arms out longer, if they were folded in, do so now and just take another breath or two here. Slowly come out of child's pose. Bring your elbows down to the mat. We're going to come down to the belly. Walk the knees back behind the hips and unhook your toes once you're here. Elbows can be out a little wider. You're on your forearms, your elbows, your palms are still splayed out wide. Imagine you're bringing your chest through the gate of the arms, but lead with your heart rather than your chin. Your chin hugs in a little closer to the chest. Breathe into your lower back. And then take the elbows a little wider and bring yourself down with your forehead a little closer to the mat. Take the arms now along the ears, nice long back of the neck. On the inhale, reach the arms and the legs, lift so you're balancing on your belly. Exhale and lower. A couple times here. Balancing on the belly, maybe you're bending the elbows back. So breathe in, reach. Breathe out, pull elbows towards the back of the mat. Again, you want to keep the back of the neck neutral, so keep the chin in, look down rather than forward. One more breath here. Hover the palms. And then when you're ready, lower the hands near the sides of the rib cage. One breath here in Cobra Bhujangasana. Press into the hands, lift the chest, keep those elbows hugging in and lower. Good. Well, again, press strongly into the hands, tuck the toes under, lift up through hands and knees, and then bring your seat back towards your heels with the toes still tucked under. It's a more active child's pose. Maybe you're shifting your hips, your shoulders from side to side. Lengthen the spine, notice the space, the back of the neck neutral. Okay, we're going to come back up to tabletop. Shoulders right over the wrists. Maybe stay here, or right arm forward on fingertips. Opposite left leg reaches behind you on the shelf of the toes. Shifting from side to side, notice your balance here. This is a balanced practice today. Notice how you feel. Maybe inhale, lift the arm and the leg. And then exhale, you can touch down with finger and toe tips, or bring the elbow and the knee toward the middle of the body. A couple times like that. Reach the right arm along the right ear if you can. Elbow to knee in, breathe out. Maybe the chin comes toward that direction. One more time here. Your toes are pulling down, your heel presses away. Keep hugging the navel toward the spine, rounding the spine like a Halloween scaredy cat. Now you can continue with that flow. Or inhale, reach the arm, the leg out long, and then widen the reach of the arm, the leg on the exhale. Inhale, zip back to center. Exhale, elbow to knee. We'll do that a couple times. So the whole time you're maintaining a balance, noticing your weight distribution, adjusting as you need to with your breath, with the muscle engagement, hugging the navel toward the spine. One more time here. Inhale, reach, lengthen. Exhale, widen. Inhale, back through length. Exhale, squeeze, elbow, knee, and chin in. Okay, we'll come back to table. Maybe give a little love to that left hand and wrist. Roll it out. Back to table, cow pose, drop the belly, look forward. And again, Halloween scaredy cat. Exhale, look back. A couple times like that here. Bovine and feline. Notice the reach of the spine the whole time. Okay. Neutral, long spine here in tabletop. We'll do that other side. Left hand on fingertips reaches forward. Opposite right leg on the shelf of the toes reaches back. Notice your balance. Maybe you're gently swaying or shifting. You can stay, or on your next in-breath, bring the arm, the leg to lift. Out-breath, hug in, although you can always just touch down with the fingers and the toes. Feel the reach forward through heart space. Feel the rounding of the spine as you breathe out. One more time like that. Again, you can continue with this same flow. Maybe there's a different energy, a different sense of balance as you inhale, take the length of the arm, the leg, and exhale, widen, reach out a little further. Inhale, bring it back in, maintaining that length. Exhale, squeeze the elbow of the knee in. And we'll do that a couple times. Try and move with the rhythm of your breath. Keep the breath in its sharp focus the whole time. Last time here, guys. It's our balance practice today. Find the reach in the spine the whole time. Okay, come back to table. Roll out your right wrist. Notice the energy in that right hand. We'll tuck the toes under and sit back further with our seat toward our heels. Reach the arms further forward. Back through child's pose for a breath or two here. And then we're going to come back up to hands and knees. Hands are actively splaying down, but your shoulders are just past the wrist this time. Hands a little further forward. Tuck toes under, lift the knees now as you press strongly into the hands and the shelf of the toes. Hover your tabletop, knees an inch or two off the mat. Maybe you're staying here, or glide forward, more weight into the hands on the in-breath, and glide towards the back of the mat on the out-breath. Try it again. Shifting from forward, inhale, to back. Exhale on the shelf of the toes. Do that one more time. More reach through the spine. Bend the knees deeply. Exhale here. And then inhale, we're going to feel the reach through the thighs and come into our downward dog. Exhale with the heels towards the mat. Downward dog, lift one foot at a time, one hand at a time. Feel the steady placement of your hands, your feet. You can stay with the knees bent, head heavy. Look back towards your toes, the back of the mat. Maybe you're staying here. Back of the neck finds length, head heavy. Or bend one knee at a time, reaching the opposite heel down. And just say hello to your back of your legs, the soles of the feet. But continue to keep pressing strongly into the energy of the hands. You can continue this movement, or try this out. Roll over your right foot and bring your right knee down into a half tabletop. And then exhale back to downward dog with both knees deeply bent. Left toes, left knee comes down gently, half tabletop. Back to downward facing dog. Try that out one more time on each side. Finding the reach through the spine the whole time. Okay, back to downward facing dog here. You can stay or come to child's, or try this out. Bend the knees, inhale. Exhale, wave forward to high plank. High plank, get more reach to the legs. Lift one foot at a time. Heels over the shelf of the toes. Exhale, lower the knees and come back down to the belly. Elbows hug in. Unhook your toes. Feet are flat. Inhale into cobra. Once more. Exhale, lower back down. Back of neck long. Inhale, lift back up through hands and knees. Child's pose. Maybe give a little rest for the wrists or hands. Bring the hands to the back of your heart, the space around the back of the heart, and breathe deeply here. Come out of that when you're ready. Hands again reach onto the mat, actively pressing into the entire span of each hand. That's important. As we come into downward facing dog, this is a strengthener for the upper body, the arms, the shoulders. But again, it's a length for the spine. Try it out. Bend the knees, inhale, and exhale, wave through high plank. Stay for an inhale, get more reach, more length. And then this time, maybe you're keeping your knees lifted as you lower halfway into Chaturanga Dandasana. Just halfway. Inhale, roll over the toes into upward facing dog. You could decide to come to cobra instead. Find the back bend that works for you, and then return to downward facing dog. Okay, meet back in downward dog if you're not here already. And then check it out. We're going to step our feet out wider in downward dog towards the outer edges of our mat, and then walk the hands in one at a time. Feet are a little wider for this forward fold. You can roll out your wrist. Surrender here. You're taking a peek. Your knees are pointing in the same direction as your toes. Fold deeply. Maybe if it feels more supportive, reach the arms around to the back of the legs. Again, surrender here. Bend the knees to release your lower back. Let your head feel like a weight or a stone reaching toward the space between each foot. Back of neck lengthens. Breathe deeply. Now you can take the hands in front of you so that we can walk our feet in closer together now. Again, take a peek at the knees pointing in the same direction as the toes. Then come up into a supported squat with the forearms, the elbows on the thighs, palms together. Look forward as you sit back in your squat. Chest forward towards the front of the mat. See if you can stay here. Keep sitting back with your seat. And then take your next inhale. We're going to drag the feet out towards the outer edges of the mat and come all the way up to standing. Reach the arms up, overhead. Palms meet. Thumbs toward brow center, toward lips, and then meeting at the heart. Pause here in Tadasana at the back of the mat. Shoulders roll up, back, and down. Okay, we'll begin our balance sequence. Take a moment to reposition your feet, bring them together to touch. Inner edges of the feet together. You'll need some space behind you in the back of your yoga mat. And then bring your hands to your hips. Your hips are a reference point here. If your navel is stacked over your pubic bone, your hips are side by side. Anything beneath the hips root down. Anything above the hips rises up. Take a moment to notice that. Maybe your hands rest on your center once more. Okay, so with this reference point, hands come back to our hips. Notice. And then lift your left toes like a kickstand on the mat. We're going to reach the left foot behind us, the left leg, off the mat. So you're bringing your left foot to the floor behind you on the shelf of the toes, but square those hips forward. Squeeze the thighs together and get that reach to the sides of the body. Take your inhale to reach the arms overhead. On the exhale, grab hold of your left wrist with your right hand, and then inhale, reach up and gently over. Exhale here. It's a side body bend, reaching into the left side body. Press strongly into your feet. Feel the inner thighs hug together. Hips stay forward. A couple breaths here. Keep your eyes fixed on one spot. All right, hands come back to center, crown skyward, and then back with hands on hips. Step back with left foot to meet right. Sides of the body find length. We'll do that second side. Right toes like a kickstand. Lift the right foot, and then reach the right leg behind you, crossing at the top of the thighs. Again, you're lifting the back heel, the shelf of the toes plants, but you're reaching your hips forward. Sides of the body find length. Root into the feet. Feel that reach. Arms overhead. And then go ahead and grab hold of your right wrist with left hand. Right side body stretch. Inhale and exhale here. You can keep reaching, but keep the bend in the elbows. Keep the reach in the feet. Stay for a breath or two. Feel the breath through the right side of the body. Come out of that slowly. Maybe look down. Bring the crown up. Release the hands and bring them together. Hands meet on the hips as we step right foot back onto the mat. Okay, feet together. Hips forward. We'll lift our right leg, bring it one leg length in front of us, and then plant the right foot on the mat. Imagine you're making a perfect footprint in the sand with that right foot. Spread the toes out wide. Then come on to the weight of that right foot, back left toes like a kickstand. Take a moment to notice your hips forward. Pause here. If you want, with the sides of the body still long, come into Warrior 3. So you're lifting back left leg. Pull the toes down, heel reaches away as best you can. Hands can stay on the sides of the body. Maybe the arms are reaching forward towards the front of the mat along the ears. Warrior 3, you still want to find the length in the spine, just like in our tabletop position. Crown forward, heel reaches back. Stay for one more breath if you can. Little bend in the standing right leg. And then bring the hands back to the hips and come back up to stand with your left toes on the mat like a kickstand. Again, find the reach in your chest, space around the heart. Maybe your eyes fixed on one spot. Okay, you can stay here, work on this balance challenge, or lift the left knee in line with the left hip. Take the opposite right hand to the outer left knee or hip or thigh. Maybe you're reaching out through that left leg and then pulling out through the left arm to reach it behind you. Super balance challenge here. You can keep your gaze on that fixed spot or look towards that back left arm. One more breath here. Keep squeezing the inner thighs. Keep a little lift in the chin. Come out of that by looking forward first. Then bring your hands to your hips. Reach through that left leg. We're going to switch sides. Left foot comes down on the mat again like you're making a perfect footprint with that left foot. Align the hip, the knee, the heel. Come onto that left foot. Right toes this time like a kickstand. And you can play here. This can be the practice for you today. Just find that lift and lower, resisting gravity. Maybe Warrior 3. Ground forward, right heel presses away. Pull the toes down. Hands can remain on the lower back or the sides of the body, or reach the arms forward. Warrior 3, standing foot solid, but keep a little bend in the standing left leg. You got it. See if you can reach your crown away from the tailbone, away from that back right heel. Yes, okay, come out of that, hands to the hips, come back to stand. Right toes like a kickstand on the mat. Lift the chest, feel the sides of the body long. Start here. Gaze on one spot. Maybe right knee lifts in line with the hip. Opposite left hand on the outer knee, hip, or thigh. Lift the chest. Maybe you're looking towards that direction. Look towards the right. Perhaps kick out through right leg. Good. Pull the toes back. Right arm can also reach back. Again, it's a super balance challenge. Squeeze the inner thighs. Keep your gaze in one spot. Take one more breath here. Back of neck stays long. Spine finds length. Nice, guys. Come out of that by looking forward first. Nice and slowly. Bring your hands back to your hips. See if you can reach out with that right leg. One more breath here. Pull the toes in towards you. Keep the sides of the body long. Nice. And then come back to stand. You're now at the front of your yoga mat. You can walk out your feet, your legs. Notice the energy beneath your feet. Okay. Again, use your hips as a reference point. You want to keep your gaze in one spot on the mat. Maybe right toes like a kickstand. Pull the right knee out. We'll come into our tree pose. So right foot could be inner left ankle or beneath the left knee. Maybe you're taking your right heel to the very top of the left thigh. Tree pose here. Right knee rotates out, but keep those hips squared forward. Sides of the body lengthen. Hands can stay on hips or come to the heart space. Or maybe you're keeping a little lift in the chin as though you're a mango tree and there's a juicy mango between the chin and the chest. Keep the back of the neck long as you grow the branches of your tree. Arms can reach out overhead and nice and wide. Perhaps it's a windy day. There's a little breeze. Feel that sway. The elbows can be bent. Stay rooting into the standing left foot. If you'd like, right arm can lower, palm on top of right thigh. Inhale, left arm along left ear, and exhale, maybe gently dip. Feeling the side of the body long. Pull the belly in. Keep your gaze in that one fixed spot. Nice. Come out of that slowly. Hands again meet at heart space, crown skyward. Hands to hips. Return right foot to the mat, and then maybe give a little love to that left ankle. Shake it out. Come back to standing. Energize. Equal standing with each foot. Lengthen the body. All right. Other side tree pose. Left toes on the mat. Turn the left knee out to the side. Again, the foot can be anywhere in the inner right leg, not on the knee itself. You don't want to compromise the knee. Maybe take the heel to the very top of the thigh. Wherever you've placed your foot in the inner leg, squeeze in like you're hugging in toward the midline of the body. Hips are forward. Use that as your reference point. Hands can stay on the hips. Remember that juicy mango between chin and chest. You don't want to squeeze out the juice, but you don't want it to fall to the ground. All right, arms can reach overhead. Grow your branches. Find your tree, the shape of your tree. Bend the elbows, maybe gently sway. Not a typhoon strength wind, just a gentle breeze. Perhaps you're taking your left arm on top of that left thigh. Right arm hugs along right ear. Maybe gently reach top arm over the top of the head. Again, find the tree pose that works for you, your shape, your body, your practice. Stay for another breath if you can. Hands meet back, crown skyward, find lengthened spine first. Then come out of that slowly by bringing hands to the hips and stepping back with left foot. Roll out right foot and ankle, both hips, both feet and hands. Notice the energy there. Okay, we're going to walk the feet out wide and come into a wider, deeper squat. Turn your toes out wide and bring the feet all the way to the edges of the mat. Circle the arms up, inhale, and then meet the palms together, thumbs toward brows, lips, and heart. As you come into an even deeper yogi squat, malasana, sink down into it. Maybe you have a yoga block or another type of support to have a seat on. Now your heels should be planted. Adjust the feet accordingly. Your knees are pointing out wide in the same direction as your toes. Sides of the body, find that length. Maybe rest your hands on your center. Head over heart, heart over pelvis. Palms can meet together, and then the bent arms can tuck into the bent legs. Elbows toward the inner bent knees. Bring your heart toward your thumbs toward your heart. Breathe here. Feel the reach in the inner thighs, the inner knees, and keep the length in the spine. If it feels more useful, maybe you're moving your support out of the way. Adjust your feet in so that, again, the heels are planted. Keep the spine long, chest forward. Stay here if you can. Breathing deeply. If you want to, you're staying right here. Or maybe you're starting to reach the arms out in front of you. A little bit more of a forward fold if you do. So you're bringing the crown of the head towards the front of the mat. Keeping the heels anchored, soles of the feet flat. Maybe the hands reach around to the space behind the heart. What can you soften? Keep your breath in sharp focus, even though you're softening your eyes, the muscles around your jaw. Okay, come out of that slowly. Your hands in front of us. Lift your seat slowly. Walk the feet in closer together. You can use hands on blocks or reach the hands along the shin bones, maybe right beneath the knee bones, and look forward, and then come into a forward fold. Bend the knees, release the lower back. One more time like that. Re-extend the spine, shoulders in line with hips. Inhale, exhale, fold. And then check it out. We're going to step back with the left foot only, coming into a runner's lunge. Now you may need a cushion here, an extra towel or something that you have available to lower the back left knee on. Organize the front right knee in line with the heel, in line with the toes. Maybe you've got blocks or something to rest the hands on for a little bit more lift in the spine. But adjust the back knee. You're not directly on the kneecap. You're on the fleshy part above the knee. You want to feel that reach and stride in the back left thigh. See if you can stay here for a couple breaths. Hands a little higher can feel great for the spine, the chest to reach more forward, crown more towards the sky. If you don't have blocks, try this out instead. Bring your right forearm and then your left forearm onto that front right thigh. Palms spin up. This way you get that reach through the spine, more vertical reach. Notice the energy in your hands. You can absolutely stay here or take your hands to your hips and then imagine that you're scooting your front heel, your back knee in. Squeeze them in toward each other as you inhale, and then exhale, sink back into that front right knee. can do that a couple times. Hug the front heel, back knee in, reach the spine long with the chest forward. And then exhale, sink into it. Drop the hips. Feel that reach in the back, left thigh. Do that a couple times. Inhale, squeeze in. Exhale, feel your tailbone root down. Hip points lift up on the in-breath. Tailbone roots down, belly hugs in on the out-breath. You can stay here, or maybe the arms want to join in on the conversation. Take them overhead on the in-breath. Exhale, bend the elbows wide. Shoulders pull back away from the ears. A couple times like that. Squeeze your front heel, back knee in. Reach. Get more reach. Exhale, pull in and sink. Get more reach in the back, left thigh. Last time here. Maybe more space with the arms. Nice, and then release the hands back down on either side of front foot. Back knee lifts. Move your cushion out of your way. Runner's lunge. Pop that back left foot in closer. We're not going to stay too long. We're going to pivot and plant the back left heel. All right, right forearm comes onto the front right thigh. We're going to come up, circle the arms up, reach through the spine, come through standing, straightening that front right leg. Arms reach out wide. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips. All right, let's refine the pose. Take that back foot further away if you need to. Align the pinky toe edge of the foot with the back short edge of your mat. Right front foot is forward. Front heel, back heel. Maybe front heel or the inner arch of that back foot. Feet are perpendicular to one another. Just take a moment and adjust. Hips in line with knees, in line with heels. Anything above the hips rises up. Again, navel over pelvic bone. We've got the hips stacked side by side, and then rebend that front right knee, maybe lining it up with the second toe of the front right foot. You can bring that back foot in closer if you need to. Take the reach to the sides of the body now. Inhale, the arms again overhead along the ears, and then exhale, reach out wide. Now look back. Back wrist pulls toward back ankle. And then look forward. Chin toward front shoulder. Maybe glance down. You should still be able to see your big right toe. Maybe draw the knee out toward the pinky toe edge. Stay here in your warrior two. Arms reach out. Feel the reach around the space around your heart. Maybe stay here or inhale, reach the arms, the legs wide, arms overhead. Exhale, return to your warrior two. Rebend the front knee. Palms reach out towards the front and the back of the mat. A couple times here. Feel the rooting action through your feet, but rise through the spine. Exhale, keep that spine long even as you rebend the front knee. One more time like that here. Pull belly in. Stay for a breath in warrior two. Space around the heart open, abundant. Good, and then we'll bring the hands to the hips and straighten the front leg. Okay. Find again the reach to the side body, the reach of the arms, and again the arms out wide, wrists and shoulders lined up. But this time spin the thumbs down, palms away, and then take your arms around the back of your body. With your hands, grab your elbows or your wrist or somewhere in between. Press the arms to the back of the body and puff up the chest. And then rebend that front right knee. You can stay here, keeping that little lift in the chin, that sweet, juicy mango between chin and chest. Keep reaching into that back foot. That's your anchor. Maybe the arms want to reach further away. You can interlace your fingers and reach your knuckles back, away from the body. Shoulders pull away from the ears. Maybe stay upright or come into your humble warrior. Start to fold over your front right thigh. But do it slowly, incrementally, moving with the breath. Perhaps the shoulder comes over the front thigh or knee. Maybe a little bit closer to the inner thigh or knee. Top of the head can be forward or towards the inner right ankle. Crown of the head down. Knuckles toward the ceiling. One more breath here. Humble warrior. It's a powerful pose. Press strongly into your feet. Come out of that by looking at your right foot. Release the hands. Square the hips. Back heel now is lifted and your runner's lunge once more. Palms are flat. Transitions are important. Inhale, look forward, and then exhale from runner's lunge to downward, facing dog. All right, stay here. Reposition your hands, your feet. Walk your dog if you'd like. Maybe lower your knees to child's pose if you prefer. Or inhale, move with me, bend the knees. Exhale, wave to high plank. Inhale, get more length through the legs. Decide if you're going to lower the knees to cobra or keep them lifted and move into your upward facing dog. Move with your vinyasa, your flow, linking breath and movement. Come back to that sharp focus of your breath. Downward facing dog, meet back if you're not here already. And then maybe again, playful dog. You can bend the knees and pivot the heels to the right. Maybe come back through center, bend the knees and pivot your heels to the left. Keep those knees deeply bent, head heavy. Find new spaces to breathe into. Okay, downward dog once more. We're going to walk the feet again out wider. Slide the hands in, one hand at a time. Forward fold. You can stay here. Maybe you're resting your hands on blocks. Taking a look to see your knees are pointing in the same direction as your toes. Maybe walk your feet in closer. Decide what works best for you. Take your first two fingers, your peace fingers, and hook them around your big toes. And then inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold, bending the elbows, bending the knees. So each time you inhale, press into your feet. Look forward to the front of the mat. Feel the reach in the upper back. Exhale, bend, elbows, knees, chest toward the top of the thighs. Couple breaths here. Root and rise. Again, there's a sharp focus on the breath. Keep your gaze soft. All right, unhook your toes. Come into that supported squat with the elbows on top of the thighs, chest forward. You should be able to see your toes. Press back through your seat if you can. Maybe inhale, the arms reach up, arms along the ears. Keep the bend in the knees, and exhale, sink even deeper into that chair pose. And try this out. Reach the arms up, lift your toes, and then exhale, lower your toes and reach the arms back. Try it out. It's our balance practice today. Maybe lift your heels. You're balancing on the shelf of the toes. Inhale. Exhale, feet flat, bend the knees, sit back deeply, squat back, arms reach back. One more time with each variation. Inhale, arms overhead, lift the toes. Exhale, try it out. See how it feels to reach the toes up and down. And then last time here, try not to fall forward. You're lifting your heels. Nice, guys. Exhale, back to chair pose, reach the arms back. And then we're going to rebound all the way up to standing. Root and rise. Back to standing should feel good for the lower back. Arms wide. Nice. Palms together toward the heart space. Pause here with a couple breaths. Again, standing at the back of our mat. Okay, hands on hips. Look down. Step your feet together to touch. Hips are a reference point, squared forward, navel over pubic bone, hips side by side, rooting and rising. Okay, we're going to get a revisit for our warrior 3. Left leg this time reaches out in front, plant the foot on the mat. If you felt a little shaky that first time, maybe this time again we can play around with finding that strength in our standing, this time left foot. Right leg reaches back behind. You get a different reach of the arms, this time if you like. Rest the hands on the lower back. Or inhale and interlace the fingers. Exhale, pull the knuckles away from the body. One more breath here in this warrior 3 variation. A little bend in the standing left leg. Crown reaching forward, sternum, space around the heart reaching forward. Nice. Release. Come up to stand once more with your right toes on the mat like a kickstand. Hips squared forward. Notice that. Super balance challenge here if you want. Again, the knee in line with the hip. Maybe support the knee. Or, check it out. Take your first two fingers of your right hand and hook them around the right big toe. The arm reaching to the inside of that bent leg. Left hand on hip. You can absolutely stay here. Hips feel centered. Spine feels long. Juicy mango between chin and chest. Maybe with that right knee rotating out a little bit more so. See how it feels to feel more reach through the right leg. Kick out through right heel. But keep a little bend in the knee. Left arm can reach out to the left. Keep your gaze fixed on one spot, or maybe you're looking towards the reach of that left arm. Super balance challenge here. Keep that bend in the knee. Keep the spine long instead. Always optimal length in the spine. One more breath here. Look forward. Bring that right leg forward. Take a moment. And then, guys, we're going to switch it up. Right forward leg comes down onto the mat. Plant the foot, all four corners rooting down. Hips are forward. And again, we get to revisit Warrior 3. Again, maybe you're just playing here with lifting and lowering the back left foot. It's perfectly fine for your balance practice today. It's all about progression. The body becomes more familiar the more we practice these poses. Your hands can remain on the lower back like there's a hot cup of tea that won't spill. Maybe you're interlacing the fingers and reaching the knuckles back. Another breath here, warrior 3. Awesome, guys. Pull those shoulders away from ears. Press the back foot. The heel reaches away, toes point down. Whoosh, we'll release that now nice and slowly. Hands to hips, come back up to standing. Left toes like a kickstand. Find the reach in your spine. Stay here, or left knee in line with left hip. Support the thigh, or take your first 2 fingers of your left hand around your big left toe, right hand on right hip. Again, the arm is reaching to the inside of the leg. Hug the arm, the leg, and stay right here. This is definitely a wonderful balance practice. Feel the hips are centered. Maybe that knee rotates more out to the left. If you feel super solid here, maybe start to play with finding more of a reach in your left leg. Again, don't compromise the spine. If the leg wants to have a bend, that's totally fine. Maybe take the right arm out to the right. You can keep your gaze down and forward, or challenge yourself even more so. Look towards your right extended arm. Super balance challenge. Keep a bend in both knees slightly. Lift the heart, or keep that left knee bent as much as you'd like. Last breath here. Whoosh. Look forward. Bring the hands back. Bring that left knee back, forward, and then reach out through left leg. See if you can stay. Try not to lean too far back. Spine long, toes pull in, and we will come back to stand. We're once more at the front of our yoga mat. Give some love to your ankles, your toes. Feel it in your hands, your feet, wherever you need to. Okay. Again, we'll come back to the front of the mat, feet together, hips forward. Line up those hips. That's your reference point. Now we're going to again revisit tree pose. Right foot, inner left thigh, or anywhere along the inner left leg. You can stay here. Or how about right toes like a kickstand? Cross your right leg over your left. So this is just like we did before, but right over left rather than behind it. You're on the shelf of the toes. Square those hips forward. Feel the sides of the body long. You can stay here with hands on hips or take the arms in front of you. Wrists in line with the shoulders. And then cross left arm over right, making an X at the elbows. Bend the elbows and bring your hands to the top of the shoulders. Inhale, lift the elbows a little higher. And then exhale, lower the elbows towards your navel. A couple times like that, you're just feeling the rise and the fall of your shoulder girdle. Maybe the arms reach more skyward. You can bind the back of the arms as you continue to rise and fall with the elbows. Maybe the hands bind together, fingers toward the sky. Now this is a wonderful balance practice. Stay right here, or try it out. Bend that standing left knee even more so to wrap the right toes around the back of the left calf. Come into your ego pose. Hips forward. Stay for a couple more breaths if you can. Keep lifting and lowering with those elbows. Lifting and lowering with your breath. Belly hugs in, super stability as you do. Nice, guys. Unwind the arms slowly. Bring them back, hands to hips. Unwind the legs and roll out the ankles. Give love to your joints, the wrists, the shoulders, the knees, the ankles. Come back to standing. All right, second side, tree pose. Notice the feet together, hands on hips. Little juicy mango between the chin and the chest. Left knee out to the side. Again, find where to place the left foot, anywhere but the knee crease itself. Maybe stay here. Tree pose is awesome for finding balance. Or left toes like a kickstand. This time cross the left leg over the right. Shelf of the toes on the mat. Square those hips, squeezing in your thighs. Find the length through the sides of the body. Stay here. Or take the arms in front, wrists and shoulders line up. This time right arm crosses over left. X shape at the elbows. Bend the elbows and take the hands to the top of the shoulder heads. Again, just rise and fall with the elbows. This side might feel different than the other side. Notice that. Feel the breath beneath the shoulder girdle. Elbows lift, inhale, maybe pull in toward the navel on the exhale. If it feels interesting to bind the arms, reach the arms more skyward you can. Maybe you're bringing your palms together. Fingers reaching skyward, elbows rise and fall. Again, balance challenge, supercharge balance challenge. If you like, try it out. Standing right knee has more of a bend. Take the left toes around the back of the right calf. Eagle pose is super intense. We want to keep those hips square, those shoulders square as best we can. Maybe rise and fall. Inhale, you get more reach, more length. Exhale, pull the elbows toward the knees, navel toward the spine. Last breath here. Sharp focus on how we're breathing. Let that help you find balance and harmony. Nice, guys. Unwind the arms, unwind the legs. Back to Tadasana, your mountain pose at the front of your yoga mat. Give some love to your ankles, wrists, shoulders, hips, knees, and toes. All right, feet maybe a little wider. Imagine you're swimming. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, and swan dive back down towards the earth. You can lift a little higher to reset the spine, the length of the spine, and then fold. Knees and toes, same direction. Take a peek. One more time like that here. Shoulders and hips line up. Inhale. Exhale, fold. All right, guys, step back with right foot. Runner's lunge. You got it. Organize. We're going to lower the back, right knee this time, maybe on a cushion. Adjust that front knee in line with the heel. Back leg has length, deepen your stride. Hands can be fingertips, fists, or palms. Maybe hands rest on blocks or whatever you have available. That, again, helps to lift the hands a little higher. More space for the chest to reach further forward. More length for the spine. Reach into the back, right thigh this time. Keep the eyes soft. Again, if you don't have blocks, this might feel great. Bring your left forearm and then your right forearm onto the top of that front left thigh. That way you're supporting on the front leg. You're keeping the reach of the shoulders, but hug those elbows in. Notice the energy in your hands. So guys, you can stay right here. Super wonderful stretch for the back thigh, length of the spine. Maybe blocks out of the way, squeeze that front heel, back knee in, lengthen the spine, and then sink back into it. Sink those hips. Again, squeeze in like you're magnetizing front heel, back knee, reaching through spine, crown skyward. Exhale, tailbone, hips root down. Do it again. Hands on hips, maybe feel the hip points tilt up toward heart space, and then back down as you rebend the knee even more so. You can definitely stay here or include those arms in on that reach. Up and keeping the elbows bent as you lower. More space between the palms. Keep hugging front heel, back knee in. Shoulders drop away from ears. One more time like that. Create the movement that feels good for you in your body. It's your practice. Do what feels good in this moment. Yes, hands come down. Lift the back knee, tuck the back toes. Move your cushion, your support out of your way. Runner's lunge just for a breath. Pop the back foot in closer. Then we're going to pivot and plant the back right heel. Pinky toe edge of the foot plants. Come up any way that feels useful to you. Maybe your front forearm on front thigh. You can reach the arms up or out wide. Come now to stand with that front left leg long, arms out wide toward the front and the back of your yoga mat. All right, refining the pose so we can get more out of it. Your front foot is at a 90-degree angle. Your back foot is at a 45-degree angle. The front heel and back inner arch are perpendicular to one another. Line the hips, knees, and heels. All the details matter. With hands on hips squaring towards the long edge of the mat, sides of the body find length. And then from here, we'll rebend the front left knee, lining the knee in line with the second toe. You got it. Press strongly into the back foot. Feel the reach of the spine, a little juicy mango between chin and chest. Reach the arms up, inhale, and then exhale, warrior two. Full expression here. Take those arms out wide. Pull through back arm, wrist in line with back shoulder. Take a peek. Then look forward. Pull through front arm. Look down. You should, again, still be able to see the big toe of that front left foot. Don't let the knee cave in. All right, stay for another breath here. Front knee bent, hips squared. And then see if you can find some movement. Arms reach up. Inhale. Exhale. Feel the pull of the arms, the space around the heart. Rebend that front knee. A couple times here. Imagine you're gathering up an intention, scooping it into your palms, and then exhale. Direct that intention to where you want it to go. One more time here. Again, how would you like to direct your energy, your intention today? See if you can again find a sharp focus on the breath. Yes. Hands come to the hips now as we straighten the front left leg. And we're going to prepare for our humble warrior. You could absolutely skip it. You could always stay in your warrior too. Maybe with the hands reaching overhead, we bend into that front left leg, left knee, and we'll spin the palms away and take the arms behind us. Maybe there's a little bit more length in the front leg while you do this, finding the hand placement that works for you. Bend the knee when you're ready. Stay upright. Shoulders pull away from the ears. Maybe the hand placement that works for you in this moment is to interlace the fingers and reach the knuckles further away. Again, staying upright is awesome. You're working on the strength of your legs, the lower body, but finding length in the spine. Maybe incrementally, slowly, you're folding forward into that humble warrior, bringing the left shoulder over the left thigh, maybe even bringing it to the inner left knee. Crown can reach forward or closer towards the mat, towards the inner left ankle. Stay another breath if you can. It's a powerful pose, humble warrior. Back of neck long, head heavy, reach those knuckles away, pull shoulders away from ears. Nice, guys. Look at the left foot to come out of that. Release the hands and bring them back down. Square that back heel so that you're in your runner's lunge. Again, transitions are just as important as the poses themselves. Move mindfully and slowly out of runner's lunge back to downward facing dog. Reposition the hands, the feet. Maybe find movement, maybe lower to child's. Or inhale, wave through. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, stay a little longer, get length. Exhale, lower into Chaturanga Dandasana with the knees on the mat or lifted. Inhale into your back bend of choice, cobra or upward facing dog, and then exhale back to downward facing dog. Yes, stay here. And then we're going to all lower our knees and come back down to child's pose on our mat once more. You can create a child's pose that works for you. Knees can be wide, such as we did in the beginning of the practice. Maybe keep the knees together to touch as you drape your chest over the top of your thighs. Arms can reach forward or back behind you. Again, return to the conversation with yourself. Notice the spaces that move as you breathe. Come back to the present moment. Be here now. This way we can continue to create balance and harmony. Okay, come out of this when you're ready. You can come up to have a seat on your heels. Adjust yourself here. Inner thighs together. Hips are forward. Navel over pubic bone. Hips are side by side. Find an evenness there. Sides of the body again have length. Take a moment here and see if it feels okay. Come forward with your hands to tuck the toes under and again have a seat on your heels. It's definitely a toe stretch here. Soles of the feet get a good stretch. You can always come out of it sooner if you need to. Maybe you need extra cushion for the knees. You can use a towel or your yoga block. And again, a great stretch for the soles of the feet. Stay here with the spine long. If you want, since this is a balance challenge today, move your block and just have a lift in the knees, balancing on the shelf of the toes, still keeping the head over heart, heart over pelvis. Maybe hands stay at hips or come together at heart space, or interlace your fingers and press your palms overhead. Find reach in the arms. You can keep more of a bend in the elbows if you like, so that again there's more space between shoulders and ears. You got it, guys. We're balancing on the shelf of the toes. See if you can stay for one more breath. Chest forward, long spine, nice. Come out of that slowly, release the arms, and then lower the knees. Hands forward once more to untuck the toes. Keep the inner edges of the feet together, the knees together, and come back to sit once more on your heels. Try this out. Hands come behind you. Lift your knees as high as you want away from the mat as you'd like. This is a stretch for the tops of the feet for the ankles. The more you lean back and lift the knees, the more you feel that stretch. So you decide how far to lean back. Maybe look up, keeping a bend in the elbows. Nice, guys. One more breath here. Don't worry, you won't break the ankles. Just feel that nice stretch through the tops of the feet. Come out of that slowly, lower the knees, and bring the hands back in front of you. And then check it out. We're just going to come down with our forearms and our elbows and create a little triangle now, tripod with the hands interlacing and the elbows nice and wide. Come into your forearm plank. Find reach in your legs that are on the shelf of the toes. Stack the shoulders over your elbows, heels over the shelf of the toes. Forearm plank, maybe find a little movement. Shift forward and back or side to side. Wake up your body one part at a time. Pull the navel in toward the spine for super stability. Keep reaching forward through your chest rather than your chin. The back of the neck stays long and neutral. One more breath here. Again, maybe there's movement. Feel your core wake up as you shift from side to side. Good. Now bring the head down towards the space between the elbows and walk your feet in. Hips skyward. This is called dolphin pose. Knees can bend. Dolphin pose is very much like downward facing dog, but we're on our forearms rather than our hands. You can walk out your dolphin if you like to. If you practice headstand, this is a great place to practice that on your mat today. Or in dolphin pose, just lift one leg at a time, staying for a couple breaths. So if you ever have issues with your wrists, in your practice, instead of coming into downward dog, you can always come into this pose, dolphin pose instead. Stay another breath here. Both feet are on the mat now, and then we're going to reach back out through the legs, find length once more into your forearm plank. Lower the knees. We're coming down to the belly. Nice, guys. Separate the hands a little wider, the elbows a little wider. Maybe press into the hands and lift the forearms, the elbows up off the mat for a couple breaths. Breathe into the base of your spine. Reach out through the tips of your toes. Forward through the space around the heart. Nice. Come down slowly. We're going to rest here for a couple breaths. Fold the arms in and rest your forehead on your palms. And just feel the breath rise and fall. Your belly press against the earth beneath you. Okay, you can stay here. Maybe you're reaching the arms forward. And then we'll reach the arms back behind us. Palms spin in, thumbs down. Feel free to stay right here. Maybe the hands meet and interlace. Knuckles pull back. Maybe inhale, lift the legs, lift the thighs, lift your shoulders. Exhale, come down a little lower. A couple times like that, pulsing, lifting with each breath and lowering part way every time you breathe out. Again, just find the shape that works for you. If you want to, you're releasing the arms and bringing them in front of you, but keeping the elbows bent. Goalpost arms. Balance on the belly. Imagine that you've jumped out of an airplane and you're free falling through the sky. Don't worry, you don't have far to fall, but try it out. You're on the belly, the lower rib cage, and on your pubic bone. Nice, guys. Lower the hands, tuck the toes under. We're going to come up to hands and knees, and it's a luxurious stretch for the base of the spine. Come back to child's pose. Create the shape that works for you. Maybe again, knees are closer or wider apart. Arms forward or behind you. Just stay a few breaths. Child's pose. Sharp focus on how we're breathing in this conversation with ourselves. We're going to come back up to hands and knees. We're coming up to seated. You can swing the legs out to the side and have a seat, or cross your ankles, your shins behind you. Any way you get to seated is fine. Come onto the mat with your seat once more, just like in the beginning of the practice, but this time take the legs out in front of you. You may want to have a block or extra towel nearby for support for these seated poses. Okay, hips over, or shoulders over hips, legs have length. Then lean back and come into Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees out wide like butterfly wings. You could always come into this variation with the outer ankles resting on a block. That might feel nice. Or take your blocks or whatever you have and use that for support for the outer thighs or knees. You could stay up right here in Baddha Konasana, spine lifted, or come into a fold. The hands can grab onto the tops of the feet. Now don't worry about how far you fold. It's not the shape of the pose that matters, it's the breath that you're taking that matters. The shape of the pose is not the focus, it's not the aesthetic. You could always rest your elbows down and your chin in your hands. Maybe you're bringing your chin a little closer to the chest. Play around if those blocks are useful, keep them there, or maybe move them out of your way as you come into your forward fold. A couple more breaths here. Keep your seat on the mat. Your tailbone stays grounded. Feel the reach in the base of the spine. Now if you like, here's one more variation. Reach the arms now through and under, wrapping them around the back of the legs, maybe hands placed on the tops of the feet. Imagine you're bringing your forehead towards the tops of the feet, the crown of your head towards the direction of your toes. It might feel nice. Wrapping the arms, binding them around the legs, creating a container of space to breathe. And then since we are doing a balance practice here, you can try this out if you'd like. Maybe come up to seated and then lift your legs, still keeping your arms wrapped around the back of the legs. You're balancing on your tailbone and your sitting bones. There's a tripod now beneath your seat. Keep the spine lifted. Hug the knees, your heels in closer to you. Keep yourself lifted through the sides of the body, that little juicy mango between chin and chest. One more breath here, guys. Have fun with it. Breathe deeply, pull navel towards spine. Awesome work. We're going to come out of that super slowly when ready. Unwind the arms, release the legs back down to the mat. Okay, you might want an extra cushion for your seat. You want to feel the rooting action of your sitting bones and your tailbone. Now legs are nice and long. Pull those toes in towards you. But maybe start with your feet planted, knees deeply bent, still bringing the knees out into that V-shaped formation. You can start to reach the arms forward as you inhale and exhale into more of a forward fold. This can feel awesome here, keeping those knees deeply bent, feet planted. You're feeling that reach in the inner thighs and the inner reach of the knees. If you prefer more length through the legs, you can. Toes pull in toward the knees, the hips, but keep a little bend in the knees. Again, you can reach your arms further forward. Chin comes in closer towards the chest. Maybe a block is useful here. You could even stack your two fists on top of your block and rest your forehead. Pausing here, noticing how you're breathing. Keep those toes pulled back. Chin in, shoulders round forward as well. Look for the spaces that you're creating as we stay a little longer. Maybe there's more space available to you. Smooth, rhythmic flow of breath. Continue with that conversation with yourself. If there's any unnecessary gripping around the eyes or jaw, see if you can soften here. And then if it feels interesting to reach the arms to grab hold of the sides of the feet or legs, take your last few breaths here and do that. Create the shape that works for you. Okay, we'll come up super slowly. Walk the hands closer to you, lift your torso. We're going to bend just our right knee, bringing the right foot to the inner left thigh. You might want a little cushion for the left knee, keeping a little micro bend there. Toes pull back toward you. Maybe a block is nice for the inner left leg to bring the left arm down for extra support. You want to be able to grab hold of something, maybe the inner ankle or foot with the left hand. Then inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, pull right hand towards left toes. Do that a couple times here, moving with the breath. You can watch that hand reach up and forward, allowing you to get more reach with the space around the heart every time you lift up. Inhale, expansive breath. Exhale, still contracting in with the navel toward the spine. Again, use the anchor of the arm into the inner leg. Notice how that gives you a little bit more stability. Last breath here. Okay, we'll come out of that. We're going to lift the torso and then bring our right hand behind us, flat with the palm. The knee's going to come down onto the mat. If you have no issues with your knees, you might want to try this out. We're pressing into right hand, right knee. Lift your seat. Find length through your left leg and your left arm. Reach. Stay here for a few breaths if you can. Maybe again waving with the breath. Notice the space in the front of the body, the space around the heart as you breathe. This is a great stretch for reaching through the sides of the body, lengthen the spine, the space around the front of the body, which is often collapsed as we sit too frequently. All right, come out of that slowly, lower your seat. Look forward, chest forward, and then we're going to switch sides. And just have your props available nearby in case you may need them as we go into that second side. Right leg long, left foot to the inner right thigh, maybe the inner right knee. Again, a block can be nice if you feel your right arm doesn't have much to anchor onto. Or grab hold of the inner ankle, back of the right leg. That again creates that stability as we lean into it. And then inhale now, left arm reaches up. Exhale, pull, as though you're going to reach towards your right toes. You don't actually need to make contact with hand to toes, but you're moving in that direction. Keep looking for space. Keep your sitting bones, your tailbone rooted on the mat. Moving with the breath. Again, any unnecessary gripping around the eyes, the jaw, let that go now. Okay, we come up, torso long. Left palm flat on the floor beside us. Again, no issues with the knees. You're welcome to try the next pose out by lifting your seat onto that left knee. Right leg is still reaching out, and then include the arm. Reach the arm along the top right ear. Find the fluid movement here as you reach. It's a great strengthener for the arms, the shoulders, and a lengthener for the entire body. Last breath here, unwinding from all of our tendencies to forward collapse from our sitting. Could feel awesome as we do this. Okay, come back down. And then we'll just take one more revisit to Baddha Konasana, this time with the heels out further. Create a wider basin with the reach of the legs. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Feel the reach of your chest, the reach of your palms. You can allow the arms to reach in front of you. To stay for another breath or two, chin in, shoulders round forward. Maybe you're feeling a little bit more of a stretch in the inner thighs and the back of the legs in this variation. Okay, come out of that. Lean back with your hands behind your hips. Feet plant wide onto the outer edges of the mat. Drop the knees from side to side. It's a great way to unwind the lower back. Invite the shoulders in on this conversation. Drop the shoulders in the opposite direction of your knees. And maybe you're even letting your head gently drop back, feeling the reach through the sides of the neck, the reach in the entire spine. Last breath here. All right, you guys, we're going to finish up our practice. Come all the way down to lie on your mat. Move your props out of your way, although you may want to have a block nearby just in case. Make space on your mat and come back to rest. Now we're going to look for length through the entire spine once more. So even as we come down to rest, make space if you need to. We want to reach into the back of the neck, the cervical spine. Once you've created some space, bring your hand to the back of your head and let your head rest like a weight or a stone in your palms. Maybe your legs are long, or bend your knees and plant your feet. And just bring the chin from side to side. Collarbones feel broad. Maybe the elbows walk out a little wider. Okay, head comes down to rest. Hug in now with your knees, grabbing the back of the thighs or the shin bones. Just notice your lower back, shoulders and hips on the mat. And then we'll drop both knees bent and stacked to the right, reaching left arm out to the left. Stay here just for a couple breaths. The knees can always rest on blocks for these twists. Come back through center. Hug the knees in, and we'll do that other side right away. Knees bent and stacked, drop to the left, reach the right arm out to the right, pull your toes in toward your knees. And we've got another breath or two here. Okay, we won't stay long. We come out of that right away. And then you can continue that variation, or reach your right leg around your left, just like we did in our eagle pose, wrapping the toes around the back of the left leg. Drop your knees to the left, reach your right arm out to the right. Again, maybe you're using a block for the knees to rest. You can take your left hand to the outer right thigh. Do what feels useful for you. If the legs rather not be crossed, that's okay. Dropping the hips now to the side. You've got the hips stacked. Shoulders should remain on the mat. Maybe you're taking your last couple breaths here and looking towards your opposite left shoulder, reaching into the right side of the neck. And see if you can stay here. Again, shoulders on the back of the mat. It's okay if there's an unevenness in the hips. Releasing some tension in the lower back and these gentle twists. Maybe stay here for your last few breaths with your hands on your center and just notice the rise and the fall of your breath beneath your hands. Okay, come out of that, knees skyward, lower back on the mat, unwind your legs. Adjust your lower back so that your hips and shoulders line up once more, and give your knees a hug in. Hands can rest in the palms for a breath or two. Again, that feels wonderful for the back of the neck. Maybe drop the chin from side to side. Second side, any twisting variation that feels good for you. Maybe left leg crosses over right. Wrap the toes if that feels useful, if that's available to you. Kind of like the twisted roots of a tree. Shift the hips in a little closer to the middle of the mat, stacking left hip over right. Left arm reaches out, right hand can rest on outer left thigh. Again, maybe you're looking towards left palm in line with left shoulder. Maybe you're looking more skyward, back of the head and back of the shoulders line up. Maybe look toward the opposite right shoulder for a couple breaths. Just investigating any tension through the left side of the neck. Again, we can lift the chin skyward, have a little space between chin and chest. Throat soft, eyes soft, jaw soft. Last few breaths here, hands can rest on torso. Be yourself breathing. A wonderful pause, a wonderful way to come back to the present moment. Okay, release the hands, come out of your twist, knees back through center, unwind the legs, shift back with lower back, back with the shoulders. We'll hug in. We're going to end the practice now, round in like a ball. Forehead toward the knees, lifting the back of the head off the mat. Stay here for another breath or two if you can. Hold the breath on the next inhale. Hold, 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 hold. Feel it. Belly against your thighs, and then exhale and release. We're coming into our full surrender now. On our mat in Savasana, arms and legs long, close your eyes and see if you can stay here with me for a few minutes in Savasana. Again, be yourself breathing and just notice consciously every breath. Okay, we're going to come out of our Savasana now. Wiggle your fingers, your toes. Take your time, hug your knees in, give yourself a gentle rocking from side to side with your knees.
We're going to roll onto our right side, coming into a fetal position for a breath or two. Right arm is a pillow, knees bent and stacked. Notice, how are you breathing? Come up to seated. Take your time. We've come full circle now, guys. We're back on our mat in our seated position. Pause here at the end of the practice. Bring your hands together in a moment of gratitude. Gratitude for this practice, allowing us to maintain balance and harmony in our lives. Namaste.